we actually went in assuming we would probably do a sixth season. In fact, we did plan for a sixth season in sort of a kind of a general sense, only to learn as the production drew to a close that we would not be coming back.
Were contracts drawn up for a sixth season before season 5 had started?
I mean, there were contracts in place.
Okay.
I mean, just kind of standard contracts where, in general, if, cast and crew would get bumps with every pickup.
Okay. Now, what moves were being made like behind the scenes to facilitate a sixth season? Were there just writing like story arcs that were being like gently molded? Was there anything in place to prepare for a season 6 that wasn't being necessarily in place for like a season 4 or a season 5 when the previous year was in operation? Or were you just doing what was normal at that point to set up the following season just in case?
We were preparing just as though, just as in any other season. I mean, we didn't really get that far down the road because, to be honest with you, we don't really plan for the next season until that season is done. And our season was not done. Having said that, one of the things that we did consider, and this was an idea that executive producer Robert Cooper threw our way, was we had been contracted to write an Atlantis movie, Stargate Extinction. And Rob suggested we should contact MGM and talk about maybe extending the season by 2 episodes so that we could shoot that movie within the production, engine, that we had established for this 5th season. And in the unlikely event we did not get a 6th season, then we could release the movie as a standalone, which was kind of, what was pitched to us. But if we did get a 6th season, then that movie could be the opening 2-parter for Atlantis' 6th season. And so that's something we pursued that really never gained traction, unfortunately. But, in hindsight, I wish we kind of really pushed a lot harder because, once I remember going down to set and letting the cast know that we weren't coming back for a 5th season. But I remember talking to, 6th season. But I remember talking to Rachel Luttrell, who plays, Taylor, and telling her, what we had planned for the movie and that it would be a Taylor-centric story. And sadly, that never came to pass. I mean, we wrote the script, but it was never produced.
And this was, we have to keep in mind, at the point when DVD sales were all the rage. You guys, I think this year were looking at the performance of Arc and Truth, of Truth and Continuum, which my understanding was they did considerably well.
They did do considerably well. However, between the time those DVDs were released, those direct to DVD movies were released, and we sent in our script for Stargate Extinction, the DVD market had died. Essentially, the bottom had fallen out, and MGM decided to shelf the production on the movie.
Just absolutely crazy. This is the first time hearing that that Extinction was considered to be a bookend in terms of production for season 5. I guess fans would have been none the wiser if season 6 had gone on and you guys, well, hey, we've got this thing ready to go. Let's slot it in.
Yep.
So, how would Taylor have been a central theme in season 6, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, well, the story for Stargate Extinction, one of the things I should tell the fans is whenever I come in to do these live events, David tells me we're going to discuss season 5, and I don't plan anything. So basically, this is just off the top of my head. But from what I recall from the script, Atlantis is going to make its way back to Pegasus. and en route, their engines, uh, uh, they end up experience engine problems and
They
ended up
break down.
stranded between Pegasus and
Ugh.
the Milky Way in another galaxy, and they end up detecting a power source coming from a world, and they go to the world, and ultimately, with the story that unfolds, ended up um, laying seeds for what would be the Stargate universe story. Was it with the Descendants? What?
Okay. Yes. So a common descent and epilogue.
Common Descent? Yes, an epilogue.
Okay. So
They
the
end
time
up.
travel twist that was used in season
Yes,
2 would have been the mechanism in.
yes,
I
yes. And
see.
so it was a lot of fun, and we would be dealing with the descendant of Taylor. So Rachel would have played two roles, and one of the things that really saddened me is it was such a great Todd episode as well, where basically you have the present day Todd who's locked up, who encounters a future version of himself who has designs on the planet and designs on Atlantis. And at the end of the episode of the movie, he's basically in a position of power. He's about to kill McKay, and our Todd steps in and saves him, and ends up turning the tables on his future self and saving Atlantis for his own ends. And then at the end, when they return to Pegasus, Shepard essentially rewards him by freeing him, and
Wow.
they part way, kind of not necessarily allies, but having achieved a certain understanding.
Yeah, because he's imprisoned at the end of the
Yeah,
series. That's pretty sweet, man. That was.
would have been great.
Yep.
Would have been great. And I remember we also had, or I had an idea for another sort of time travel, John, for the mid-season two-parter that would have seen the team come back to Atlantis, but it's in Atlantis 6 months in the future, that has been taken over by Michael, who has delivered an attack in the form of a toxin that basically turns the Atlantis personnel into hybrids. And so they are hybrids under his control. So we would have had hybrid versions of everyone on Atlantis, with the exception of our team, who basically come through and discover Atlantis has been taken over. Again, that was just a kind of a basic premise, but I think it would have been a blast.
Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. It's our goal to share a new Stargate story every day while we're on break. Please feel free to subscribe to future episodes here on YouTube. And if you have Stargate friends who might like this clip, let them know about us. Be sure to visit dialthegate.com to view the complete archive, as well as transcripts from past interviews. I'll see you on the other side.